Alright guys, so today we're changing some fluids on the 1997 FJ80 Land Cruiser, also known as the 80 series, also known as a cruiser, also known as a badass, and I like to call her Tank or Trail Queen, Camping Queen. Depends on how she feels that day. I don't like to upset her. But not sure if you can guess or not what we're going to be changing today. That's right, the transmission fluid. So it takes roughly about 4 quarts of transmission fluid. I have a little bit more. I'm actually not sure why I have one like this. I already had this on me. I don't think I've ever changed the transmission fluid, but I don't know, this makes me wonder if I changed it last year or not. Then I just don't remember. Like I said, on this 80 series, if you follow my channel, or if this is your first time watching, I am baselining this, so I'm changing all the fluids. I'm doing a lot of work on baselining certain parts that are known to go, so I'm changing those out, and I'm changing parts out that have gone on this Land Cruiser. So for me, a lot of people will use just whatever for their transmission fluid on vehicles, and even in the Land Cruisers I see it often. People don't use synthetic. I'm not saying they'll use whatever, but they use the right grade, should I say, but they don't use synthetic, right? They'll use just like whatever Deno freaking transmission fluid that's, you know, the cheapest they can find. I like to use synthetics because I truly believe the added cleaning agents that are in there, right? The detergents really do help clean out that old gunk and get rid of it. So that way on the next change, you're putting in even more better fluids, right? So your transmission fluid, when you do that 4 quart change, it's not actually going to change it all out. It's only going to change a very little bit about. And so for me, I'm probably going to do a few changes in the next year more than I have to, because each change, you know, I'm thinking it'll probably be about 30% of the capacity of oil that's actually in your transmission and what have you, and in all the gears. So, you know, if I change it 3 or 4 times, that should completely change out all the fluid. These are not the cheapest either. Where I'm at, these are about 11 bucks a piece. Not horrible. So about 40 bucks to change out your transmission fluid for today's job. I'm pretty sure it's a 14 millimeter socket. I'm not 100% sure. We'll find out. I have some sockets. If I need to get out the breaker bar, I will. But I think I'm going to start off with the impact right away, just to make it stupid easy. All right, I got my pan over here as well, uncapped and ready. I really like this pan. Got this from O'Reilly's. You can get it from O'Reilly's Advanced Auto Parts. It's very high grade material, so it doesn't it won't break very easily. It self closes. So if you've never changed it before, you're gonna come under here, and where that brace is, so you know you got your brace right here, your exhaust, and it's right there. So that little knob right there is going to be your drain, and then to fill it, you actually have to fill it from where you check it underneath, should I say not underneath, in the actual engine bay. So there's no fill plug on the 80 series for the transmission, so you fill it through the tester, right, to where you see the levels in the engine bay. And I'll show you that later. This might not be the best angle, but whatever. It's not like you guys are seeing anything crazy right now. Oh man, it's a shitty angle, huh? Let's see if we can clear that up a little bit. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Okay. right, let's get right to her. Yep. 14 was the sweet spot. Okay, for this part I'm going to use the ratchet because I'm trying to get that and not get a bunch of oil on my impact. Wrong way. Huh. Go. What the heck? Why am I doing it the wrong way? Sorry about that. I don't know why I keep pushing it the wrong way. Come on, baby. There we go. And boom. Wow, yeah, that doesn't look bad at all. Yeah, I'm thinking I changed that last year. Huh. Okay. Bam. And now is the fun part, and this takes a while to drain, so I will bring us back after it's done draining. I probably won't show you me putting on the bolt again because it's just me putting on the bolt again and cleaning up that little area, and we will fast forward straight to the engine bay refill. Alright, so now we're going to fill the transmission because we got the bolt back in. So this is where you want to fill it from, is this dipstick, right? She's going to take the dipstick out, put a funnel in there, which actually this is not a great funnel. I'm going to try to get a different one that's a little longer. Alright, so I got the funnel, short end, long. Don't be like me, I somehow lost my other funnel. I actually had two. One's a little smaller than this, but they were just as long, but narrower right here. And somehow my dumbass does not have them anymore. So I had to run to the store and go buy this one, which this one's actually better. It's a little bigger of an end, so it's easier to not splash or spill. And this is probably the boring part, but all we're going to do is pour them in. And then what I like to do is pour it in, let it sit there for a second to empty, and as it does that, I look under to make sure nothing's spilling. And so far so good. I don't see anything spilling underneath there. Yeah, get as much out of that bottle as you can. All right, next. Now with this, the preferred method is you throw the quartz in, you drive around, and you make sure that it meets the hot line on that dipstick. And I pour in a little bit at a time because one, I don't want it to back up and start to come out, right? Okay, I'll leave that one like that for a few seconds. All right, get under here again, just once again to make sure we got nothing spilling under there. I'm going to wipe off that cap one more time underneath. All right, so there's almost 2 quarts. The first one I used that was already open, it had a little bit gone out of it, but that's pretty close to 2 quarts so far. All right, I'm just gonna show you guys the dipstick real quick. So obviously, not to insult anybody's intelligence, right? I don't know if you can see that. There we go, right? Maybe. So there's the cool, and then there's the hot. Right? So they say that the hot is more accurate. So right now, you know, the engine's been cool. I want it to hit it around here, and then once driving around, I want it to hit here. So what they say is don't really go off the cold, because once you start driving around, it's gonna, you know, expand the liquid, because the liquid will get nice and hot and warmed up. But that's 2 in there right now-ish. So I'm gonna throw another one. And we'll see where that gets me. Get every little ounce you paid for out of these bottles. All right, now I'll let that sit for a few seconds. Also, big thing with these funnels is if you've used it for, say, like this one, I'm using it for the transmission fluid right now, and then say if I use it like another week or months later for the oil, you want to make sure you clean that filter out, because you don't want to cross-contaminate stuff, and also like there could be dust, debris on these. So what I like to do is right after you're done using it, spray it out with some degreaser. I like to use Simple Green or the Awesome from the dollar store. You can also buy it at Home Depot in a gallon size. And I just spray it out, wipe it out with a rag, and that's it. And then right before I would use it, I just give it a quick wipe down, and maybe just one little quick spray on the rag, and wipe it down, let it dry, and use it. So that way you're good. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's see what this thing shows, just for shits and giggles. I'd like to see where it says 3 quarts is, or about 3 quarts on the cold. Come on, man. There we go. Make sure it's all the way down, seated, and pull that sucker back out. Wipe it off and throw it in there one more time. Let it seat. Okay, so I think you can see that. Right? It's at that first little cold thing. So, not bad. Now what I'm going to do is fire up the engine. Take her for a little spin around the block probably, and see how she does. So let me go get those keys and turn her on. All right, about to turn on the engine. Alright, so I'm in the 80 Land Cruiser. Rock on. Boom. Did some work on it, so we still got some stuff going on. I had some leaks, trying to fix them, so I kind of took the front cover off. We got some stuff dangling. Also working on the window motor, so we got that. Just put the carpets back in, took all the carpeting out this last weekend, and looked for any rust, grinded it down, recoated it with some rust reformer, and then coated on top of that with a rubber type of Rust-Oleum undercoat. It says it's rubber. It's not really that rubbery. But let's go take a quick tour drive. The 80 series is sounding a lot better than it has been in the past right now. It used to be idling really rough, but you know, I'm baselining it like I've said, taking a lot of parts off and replacing them. The sound you're hearing right now is actually the exhaust, the Cadillac converters. They're really old, so they're shaking. Hopefully I don't hit anything while I'm driving. Don't recommend videotaping as you're driving. I didn't have any work glitches with this, so I said screw it. And I'm not gonna go far. I'm just gonna take it out for a few seconds, or should I say a few minutes. Another thing I did just now is when I turned it on, I let the engine obviously run for a few minutes. You know, probably about 2 to 3 minutes-ish. And 2 reasons I did do that. One, I did it right now because the fact is that I wanted to make sure that, again, that when I put that transmission fill plug, or should I say drain plug, back in, that it seated well, right? So that no transmission fluid was going to start pouring out. Because if it's going to start pouring out, I want it to pour out when it's idling there parked versus when I'm on the road, right? So no transmission fluids leaking under there, so that's good. Second reason is with the 80, I always let it sit for a few seconds because when I first started, it kind of idles a little high, right? And once you let it sit for maybe a minute, 2 minutes, it calms down quite a bit. You know what? Hold on a second. We're gonna shut the shade. See if that helps. Does that help? Yeah, kind of. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, it's a little glary, but we're gonna make it happen, guys. Oh, there's some free stuff out here. Huh. So I'm just gonna drive it around for a few minutes. I don't want to bore you with the drive, so I will be back as soon as this drive's done. About 5 minutes. Rock on. All right, so we're back from our little drive, and now what we're gonna do is test the transmission fluid. Again, I looked underneath, I'm not leaking, no drips at where that drain plug was. Now the only thing is, I will say this is with the drain plug, the one thing I didn't do that I recommend you do is change out the washer. I thought I had a new drain plug washer. I did not. The one that I have on it already was not bad looking, but I am already planning to buy a new one and probably refill this within the next 6 months anyways, like I said. So you can see it's still not going anywhere. So either A, that wasn't long enough to properly warm up the transmission fluid, which it might not have been, or I need to add a little bit more. So I'm going to add another half quart. And like I said, the transmission, give or take, takes about 4 quarts. And I only put in about 3-ish, so I wasn't expecting it to be where it needed to be. And screw it, I just put in a whole quart.
How you doing?
Good, yourself?
Not too bad, sir.
All right, so I just put the last quart in, and now I'm was just told I actually wasn't allowed to change my liquid here where I'm at my RV spot, and I find it funny because I was told that the manager has told me before. I've lived here 2 years and have never been told that. So let me know what you think about that below and get back to me. And just to show you, it's probably hard to see, but that is the perfect mark for the hot side. Transmission is good.